Sometimes it's soft as a misting rain that gently touches our soul. It cools the fire that burns in us, and we simply lose control. So just rain down, Lord, please. Let your love fall like rain. Just rain, Lord, please. Just rain down, Lord, please. Let your love just shower us. Just rain, Lord, please. Rain, rain, Lord, please. Rain, rain, Lord, please. Rain, rain, Lord, please. Rain, rain, Lord, rain down, Lord, rain, Lord, please. We need it, rain, Lord, rain down, Lord, rain, Lord, please. We need it, rain, Lord, rain down, Lord, rain. We need it, rain, Lord, sometimes it's soft as a misting rain.
Hello, 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 hello. Okay, I can hear my voice. Hello, hello. Yo, it's Monday night. I ain't gonna say that. It's Monday night, and we are, we are here. Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching from the Logic Based Collective, we would ask that you like, share, and subscribe and comment. If you're watching from DVN, we thank you. If you're watching from the app, we thank you. If you're watching from Soft Spoken Private TV, appreciate it. Today we are here and we're going to go around. What we're going to be talking about, I've got to read this because our title is extremely long. See, holding fast to your convictions while practicing love and humility toward those you disagree with. So we're going to get into that. But before we do, as you can see, everybody is here. We're talking about AJ. We're talking about AJ. We're talking about Ryan. We're talking about KJ. We're talking about TW. And of course, Siobhan. And we are going to start with her because we're in a chivalry on this show. How are you doing?
Great. Happy Monday. Happy to be here. What?
That sounded painful.
No, listen, I just had this random thought. So listen, that's just how my voice sounds. It is listen, so I don't have, I'm not a robot. I don't have brothers, and all of a sudden I do, and being here, and it's it's something.
Yo, not saying. Remember y'all remember that show from the '80s called Small Wonder with
Okay.
the little girl that was an android from it was like the first one. Never mind. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm not a robot. Like, I'm like, I'm a real girl. Alright. But I'm good. Happy Monday.
That's how we gonna end that one.
Oh, okay. We're going to Ryan.
Yeah. Oh man. I'm good.
Like, yo, that's all I got.
No, I guess I have to say more than that. No, I'm good, man. Just happy to be here consecutive weeks again. It's definitely been a minute. So, but yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, them Jamaican.
Yeah, I gotta like do something. But yeah, I don't really have nothing else to say, man. I'm good. Happy to be here. It is Monday. I won't give you the same happy Monday that Siobhan gave us all, but I kind of share that sentiment though. What's that movie, Office Space? You have a case of the Mondays?
Yeah.
It's like one of those things. I hate that though, because my coworkers say it to me and it's cringy. So I won't.
How you doing, AJ?
I'm good. I'm on mute.
Yo, before you even get to you, I just want to apologize because I had every intention of coming to your
It's okay.
yesterday.
Yes.
Hold on. However, our church decided that it would have been good to throw an extra Sunday night service in, and so we had to attend Sunday Night Live.
Sunday Night Live is what they call it.
What is that? That sounds like a video game.
You know how old school our family is.
Oh, testimony service?
See, when I'm in, we're gonna get it to the altar. But
Well, we
so
tarry.
had the, missionary Bradford preached. It was a good word.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? People got, but
Always
but
a
I just
good
want to
time.
say,
Always a good time.
I didn't forget. I actually planned on. I was gonna be like, but there would have been heck to pay. If I showed up and didn't show up at church. What are you doing? But go ahead, man.
Yeah, I got you. So yeah, it was good. We went out to Whole Truth. We had their service. I spoke. It was a high time in the Lord. It was the theme was my praise is my weapon. And it's been it was like that all day. I'm seeing it. I'm like, okay. So we're here. But yeah, great turnout. People showed up. Yeah, and we had a good time. And then what did I do? I don't remember what I did on Saturday. I never homework. That's why. That's why I never remember, because it's homework. I block it out.
Facts.
You better retain that.
Yes, sir. Listen, only for the week for the quiz.
Is that it? Fun with Andrew Brown.
Right.
Yo.
KJ.
Yo, good week. Good weekend. Church was good. Work is still work, and everything's going the way it needs to go. It's a great thing. I feel great. Your turn.
Long day for me today, man. Up early, had to go through some things this morning. Blessed to say I made it through.
Yes.
Glad to be here. Let's get into this conversation.
Hey.
Nah, we gotta ask AJ how he's doing
Oh
first.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yo, I was gonna.
Yeah.
Yo, since I wasn't gonna go here, but I was thinking going back to the whole Siobhan Android thing. That's gonna be something that drags on just because I just want to get on her nerves.
You got an Android now?
Adios, turd nuggets. She's
Why would you?
with that. So the weekend was I'm pretty much being used as an intern at work. Not yet official. I don't have all the credentials to be into the system. But I think that I've done quite a bit of work to help gentlemen who are observing Ramadan to be able to get their meals. They want to change their religion because it is Ramadan. Help them with that. So, it's mindless. I really do feel like an intern. It's like mad paperwork because
For those who don't know, Ramadan, I believe, is a Muslim holiday.
it is. But
I
I am
forgot
an
what it's-
interfaith chaplain.
I forgot what it celebrates. I have a few friends that are Muslim, but I forgot what they celebrate Ramadan.
So they
The
gonna be
reason.
fasting,
Fasting.
Yes.
and then in prison you get extra food.
Do you?
You get
Oh, because
you
Yeah,
missed
it's
the meal.
you
for
missed
the
the meal
day.
and that makes sense.
Sun up
Okay.
and sun down, right?
Right.
so they when daylight savings coming, they about to. So it's been a lot of that. Been practicing some Christian mindfulness meditation. I've been utilizing. It's been an absolute gem in my life. So that's that. So let's
Fire.
let's get to the subject. So who would like to start? Because the I think Siobhan came up with the name. I just don't know if anybody. It's like holding fast to your convictions while practicing love and humility toward those you disagree with. Where are we starting with this one?
Is that the question? Or
Is
was
that
it
the
like
question?
paraphrased?
So that's
So what
that's
does it look
that's
like?
not the
Because it-
full question.
Gotcha.
So the full question, because we couldn't fit it in the topic, that's really what it was. I had to
Gotcha.
reword it. The full question was, what does it look like to hold fast to your convictions yet still practice love and humility towards those you disagree with? Which is mad wordy.
Yeah, look, I mean, in short term, it's just basically saying, what is it like to be a Christian?
Essentially. You
Right?
cut out the middle part.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's essentially what you're doing on a daily
Daily
basis.
basis.
You know what I mean? That's what I took from it. I won't really go deeper into that because pause. I'll let you guys kind of expand on that. But that's usually what I that's what I grabbed from it. But it's only fair that Siobhan posed the question. That
Wow.
she should go ahead and start us off there. You know, She seemed very eager for an answer. So
They said beggars can't be choosers, but choosers can go first.
That's mad church, yo.
Very.
Okay. I'm hungry.
Hey Amber, how you doing?
Hey, Amber.
Amber says hello.
So that question actually stemmed from a devotional that we've been partaking in because why not? And it was just, to me, it was a great question for us to delve into. Simply because we've been having all these great conversations recent, and it's like with our lives evolving, I feel like all of us have been on this like kind of, I won't say new journey, but like things have just been pivoting and shifting in great ways. I'm just wondering, what is the conversation like with the people who maybe aren't a part of our journey? Who are kind of watching from the sidelines as maybe we're leaving them behind. Having those different points of view now that, like for me, just the example, I was talking to my homegirl the other day, and I think she was talking about drinking, and she just was like, oh no, I'm sorry, like I didn't mean to. And I'm just like, you're drinking,
Right.
I'm not.
Right.
So it's like, it's okay. And I'm not judging you for doing it. It's just something
that's
that I
good.
don't do. But yeah, that's just where the question, what I was thinking about when I looked at that question, and just again, like where we are now and how we're dealing with the relationships in our lives and such.
So basically, like, how has it changed? Like, how do your relationships change since you changed? What was the day of the?
It was
Because like, no, I'm saying like, but what was the actual official name of that devotional? Not of the whole thing,
Christianity
just
and politics,
today.
I believe.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So essentially, what was happening was, let me change that. Essentially, what was happening was, I gotta go back and poke at it real quick.
Pause.
Pause.
Sir, we're trying to be mature, but let's not get crazy.
Listen, this is a comedic break.
Something.
Hold on a second. Let me see. Plans. Is this a new day? Oh no.
It's the last day.
So while you're finding that, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't want blank space. What I would basically say is that to answer your question, I look at it from a perspective of how I wanted to be treated when I wasn't where I am now. You know what I mean? Growing up with like the majority of like the people I was around, they weren't saved. I think the only people that were saved in my family were my mother and grandmother. So everybody else was not, right? And you know, you never wanted to be looked at from a place of judgment, right? You wanted them to kind of accept how you moved and all those different things. And then when when I got it together and, when I started, a different walk and a different path, I tried to keep that same thing, giving the same grace to everybody else. It's like you're saying, I don't necessarily have to look at it like, because you're doing something, you know what I mean? I'm shunning you, you know what I mean? I could still deal with people, handle people. I still love people, you know what I mean? And I think it makes what I'm saying more effective if I'm not acting any different towards you when it comes time to talk to you about my journey or my walk. And I think, you do set like some kind of, I don't want to call them boundaries, but in a way they are, right? There's different things that you won't ask me to do, right? And that's cool, just because you understand. Like if they understand like where you are, right? Like nobody's gonna say, yo, let's go to the bar because I don't do that anymore. Nobody's gonna say, let's go do this because I don't do that anymore. But they know I'm not judging them, like you said. I'm not judging them for doing so. And I think that's the approach that I always try to take is that like it's what they say, it's easier to attract bees with honey.
100%.
Yes.
Right?
Than vinegar. Yes.
So it's just one of those things. So if I want anything I say to be effective, you can't feel like it's coming from a place of judgment or if I'm bashing you. And I think that's a lot of times that's what used to kind of push me away from certain things. Is there were certain people that I would come in contact with, and the the vibe was pure judgment, right? Like I had a child at 18, right? Wasn't married, nothing like that.
Right.
And there were some people that were close to me, but there was a lot of judgment, and it kind of soured my view on them because I look at it like at some point you weren't saved, right? I look at it at some point, you had an issue where, you wanted some grace, and to not give that to somebody kind of sours your view on things. So
Absolutely.
that's just how I approach it.
I'll take it a step further. A lot of times we don't establish these things, but I had a baby at 18, but you were having sex at 18 as well. Like, just because you didn't get caught.
There's no evidence.
I mean, there's
Right.
no living proof.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Just
You
because
could've got caught.
you didn't, just because nobody knows your business is
Right.
out there, like you decide to judge people, and I think that was the important depiction because Jesus. I went back and read over the devotion real quick, but basically we're talking about Jesus sitting with sinners. So sitting with James and Simon Peter, who would have been enemies in the world, because it said that I think it was Simon Peter was basically Simon Peter was the opposite of James as did I say it backwards? I don't remember, but basically James as a tax collector. Who was the tax collector? Peter. Peter was the tax collector. I said it backwards, yeah. But basically it was saying like, how can your master sit with people that are not like them? Like, and this is what people do today. Like if you go and decide I'm gonna go eat lunch with somebody who's going through something, because that's really what's happening. But we don't look at it that way. We look at it like, oh my gosh, they're sinning. They're in sin. Their soul needs to be delivered. But you're in pride. You're now standing in judgment, because instead of going over there to pray for them, because of your knowledge of what's going on, you decided to cast judgment and say we should isolate them. We should talk about them. instead of uplifting them, which is the opposite of what the Bible tells us to do. So that's why it was so interesting when Jesus goes to sit with people, and the Pharisees, they asked the other disciples, why does your master sit with prostitutes? Why does your master sit with tax collectors? Why does your master sit with these people that we know they're not doing what's right? And Jesus responds with, I didn't come to heal those that don't need healing.
Yeah.
I came to heal the sick. I came that those that aren't sick don't need a doctor. Like, but another interesting revelation that I had was, if you were in the area when Jesus was there, you were also sick. You just don't know what you were sick from. Because there's a lot of times that we're sick, but we're sick from, like I said, pride. We're sick from jealousy. We're sick from envy. We're sick from different things that's on the inside of us. They weren't mad that Jesus was talking to sinners. They were mad that Jesus was reverenced the way he was, and he was deciding to talk to people lowly, and he wasn't deciding to speak with them.
Their big thing is that he wasn't evangelizing the way that they wanted him to.
Absolutely.
Or the way that they thought. And that's a lot of people that try to evangelize from a place of self-righteousness. And it's like this mutated view is like, I want you to be saved, but I want you to be saved the way I want you to be saved.
Just like me.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I want you to be saved according to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, when in reality, like what Ryan was saying, you attract, like more bees with honey, flies or bees, anything that flies. It's sticky, so it works. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and so going to people sort of in that way is like, because everybody uses that scripture, like, judge not lest you be judged. It's like, but we all do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you only don't want it to pertain to you when you don't want it to pertain to you. But then, like, the same way that people that don't really know use that is like the people that do know. It's like, all right, well, we really haven't been commissioned to spread the gospel to the people that's already in the church. You know what I'm saying? Like, that just happens to be our comfort zone. So we preach in the church, we sing in the church, we do all of these things in the church. Meanwhile, so many people outside that. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Yes.
Not that the people in the church don't need it, but it's like, you know what I mean? Like, but we do that, and in the process try to create like these mini me's of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, even though we're all on different journeys, like, I don't know where the Lord is gonna take you, but I know that He has a journey for you, and I just want for you to be on that journey. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not. I don't. Hey, listen, I evangelize with Holmes. Hey, I might even pray for you. You might have been at the altar last week, and then, you know what I'm saying? Like, the following week, I see you out somewhere doing you know what I mean? Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still like, I'm going to continue to pray for you, but I don't, you know what I mean? Like, it might have been a bad day. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody handles things differently. Everybody's in a different place with their walk. So I think, not to say that, that is okay because you're doing it, you know what I mean? Like, for me then at that point, preach a hellfire to you is not gonna bring you to the point that you need to be at.
You won't.
I think,
go ahead.
No, I think the lack of judgment is important, but also the conviction is important, right? Because the convictions are like the morals and your standpoint and like where you stand and what you believe, right? So it's not so much about being with the other people, but showing them who you are, even though you're amongst them. You know what I mean? Right. If I'm walking different and I'm talking different, that's evident in everything that I do. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the conviction is, to me, what I got from it was the most important part, because everyone is gonna have some sort of judgment. Right. You don't want to be judgmental. You might hold your judgment to yourself, but you're still thinking the thought. Correct. You know what I'm saying? So what I took from it was the conviction part of it. How am I walking? How am I talking? Even if I'm at the bar, you can judge me however you want, but you don't know what I was talking to those people at the bar about. Absolutely. Right? My bottle might have water in it, and it might just be that I'm in an environment to, have camaraderie with these individuals because I might be able to bring them somewhere later on, right? But I have to be with them and build trust with these people in order for them to trust me to come with me anywhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's so important to have those convictions and not be able to be swayed or drawn into something. Like, even if I'm in the darkness, it doesn't mean that I have to be dark as well. I might be the only light, right? Someone, a moth is drawn to the flame, right? So I might be that light that someone is drawn to. I might not even be able to see them because it's so dark around me, but there might be that draw to the one piece of light that's in this dark environment. That's why it's so hard to be convicted in your thoughts and your actions.
I wanted to say too, because real quick, because Amber had said something in the comments that we have to remember that God is the one that does the transformation.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's like it's not us, right? And that's why I say, like, I don't want to be like, I don't care, but it's like, it's not my job to save nobody. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's my job to deliver the gospel. It's my job to pray for you. It's, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna watch you do wrong and not say something about it as a friend. But I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm also not getting ready to condemn you and tell, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's encouragement from me, but it's like, I know that I don't have the ability to be able to change nobody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or like, we're already grown, we're shaped, we're molded. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now, like, it's not, like, I can't, we can't, it's like iron sharpens iron, but we got to remember in terms of being, you know what I mean? Like, God is the one who puts you in the type of posture that you're supposed to be in. And you know what I mean? Like, so, it's just something to remember, right? You getting ready to say something?
Oh no, I was just gonna say like to what T was saying. Like sometimes, man, it sucks is that you have to deal with not just judgment but just perception.
Yeah.
Right. Like you're saying, like you can be in a bar and you could have been talking to those people about something or gaining the trust of those people, but the perception is, oh, he's in there doing something that, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I think sometimes, like even now, you fall victim to that just based on the company you keep sometimes or the people you may be around. Nobody necessarily knows everything you're doing, but the way it looks, the way certain people perceive it, it adds to the judgment, which to me has always been an issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I hear you. I think when I look at stuff like that, I personally don't care.
Facts.
Like the thing that's most important to me is like protecting yourself. So when it comes to like not necessarily the people, when because AJ said something about ministering to people or evangelizing to people in a comfort zone. Like I don't think the comfort zone of people is necessarily the building. I think it comes to the type of individuals they're willing to actually minister to. And like they don't necessarily, like when they see different people
Yeah.
or different backgrounds, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I didn't know you were judgy. You've just been around people that didn't trigger that or didn't awaken that what's laying dormant in your spirit. Because as soon as you're around someone that's like not necessarily on the brand that you're used to, are you gonna minister to them the same way? Now I understand protecting yourself because if you have a prior struggle with liquor or something, and the bar is a place for you that's not comfortable, maybe you don't put yourself there.
Right.
But if that's not someone else's struggle, then I would hope that the perception wouldn't remove you from someone that may need to have a conversation from you.
Yeah.
Because it'd be great for you to be able to be yourself. Because I mean, we sit here. I mean, now it's not necessarily a physical book that you're holding, but your Bible app, toters, or whatever the case may be. And we're in the world, but we're not of the world. And then when you have to actually practically apply it in the real world, do you? Or do you say,
question.
But it's gonna look crazy.
Right.
Yeah, I think that in those situations, you have to also remember to be able to use wisdom, because the word also says to not allow your your good to be evil spoken of, right? So, you know what I mean? Like I'm not necessarily looking to go to those places to be able to evangelize, but also if I happen to be somewhere, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't have a problem with, because the reality is people are everywhere that can take something that you're doing
And misconstrue it.
and they don't know. And I feel like there's a difference between that and just, but it just being out. Like I'm going to use wisdom for me.
Yeah.
And not and you know what I mean? Like, and so and also it's just like, all right, I know that I can be in a situation. I might, you know what I mean? Like, listen, we might be at the same restaurant. You might be sitting at the bar. I could go and sit down. It's you know what I'm
Right.
saying, like, but it's a you know what I mean, like it's up to me whatever's happening in that moment to be you know what I'm saying, like yo, I know that um I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna put myself in a situation. I can't, you know what I mean? Like, it's, you know, I just feel like there's a difference between that and being like, yo, let's meet at this place. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, like, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, I can't be at the strip, be like, yo, you know, I'm only here to evangelize. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna do
There are
that.
souls that need to be saved.
There are souls that need to be saved at the strip, but I'm not, I'm not gonna,
People
you know
that are
what I mean?
willing to tithe.
You know, they're all on that stage. I'm just here to collect.
The offering was there.
Like, so you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying in that, like, being able to use wisdom in those situations. It is mad time. I have gone out with Terrell, like, you know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, we'd be like, we're eating at the same place. Like, he orders a beer, I ordered a ginger ale. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think for me it's
cares?
more like I wouldn't say that all right, you open up your Facebook and the flyer says that I don't know the name of the current version, but Zone is having bottle service on Saturday or whatever the case may be. You're like, that's exactly where I'm going to minister. Like that's like that intentionality is a little different. But I'm saying I think it's important if you used to go to hang out with your guys or whatever the three like it was a group of four of you guys and you on Friday nights after a long week of work, like you know what I mean, like you'd go to Buffalo Wild Wings and like everybody would just sit there and watch the game and they'd have beers or whatever the case may be, and then you're like, yo, nah, see, the way me and God is set up, can't really rock with y'all. Like it's like, yo, like let them like be the change that you actually are, and you like it's okay if
you
you're
can handle that, yeah.
That's why I said protect yourself first. If it's okay for you where you are in your walk to be able to do that, do that. But also, I think transparency wise, for me, is very important. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, if you're even wrestling with it, that means that you care about yourself, but you also care about the people that you're about to deny.
Right.
If you're saying you're not going. So you could be like, yo, bro, it's just like, yo, honestly, the way my faith relationship is going, like I'm really not about to go because I'm not strong enough to be next to how you're giving it up right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like once I'm stronger, like we're still crew. Like it's not even like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I feel like that's important too, just to give them that like insight into where your brain space is so they don't think that you're becoming this holy roller.
I think that's a great point.
Yeah.
Not only just because it gives you like the background, but at some point they may feel the same way.
Yeah.
And like it's something I'm actually writing about in class, but basically learning how to handle situations properly. And like if you're going through a transition because you're trying to be closer to God and you feel like you're called to do something other than what you're used to, or you're trying to step away from it because you understand that it's consuming you, it's proper to show someone what that process looks like.
Yo, and it's also important to know that, like, yeah, like, I understand, like, you know, like, sometimes your elevation is going to create separation.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, sometimes, like, whatever you're doing is going to remove you from some people, and it's not going to work out perfectly. Yeah. But in the same token, I also believe that it's okay to communicate to your point because, like, I don't know, like, I feel like a lot of believers deal with like, highlight reel spirituality.
Yes.
Where they actually they don't communicate their process. You know what I'm
Right, you
saying?
just see
Word
the
to your
highlights.
song, you know what I'm saying? And like what they do is they don't talk about going through things. And it's like, yo, like I always say it, but I just feel like that makes a faith-based life seem very intimidating and almost impossible because people like, yo, you just look so perfect. You never struggled. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, even if I know that you're going through something, it's like, yo, bro. Like, yo, I seen you January 1st. It was day one. How was the gym? Like, yo, it was amazing, man. My life's different. Like, no. Just say it sucked.
Right.
Like, yo, it was a little difficult, and I'm working on it. But I'm still there because I'm thinking about the payoff. They're like, oh, okay, like, you're struggling too, but you're still going. Like, that motivates me to see that the tough part is realistic.
And that's what the Bible means by you overcome by your testimony, because this is encouragement. Encouragement is knowing that I'm not the only one struggling. It's not just me. What happens is we get to this place where we're looking at things from a selfish aspect because we're us, but at the same time we don't know because we've never, or some of us don't know because we've never experienced it from someone else. We didn't see what they went through. We didn't understand. Like a lot of times we talk about preachers' kids. Preachers' kids get to see when their parents are tired. They get to see when their parents are frustrated. They get to see when their parents are sad. Like, and these are things that some church members will never know. They'll never know that their pastor was sad after they told someone to get saved and they just felt in their spirit they needed to do it. And then they broke down and cried on the way home. You'll never know because they're not going to tell you that.
I think for them, there's a couple of things at work, and I don't think that anybody has the like the manual or the guide to be able to navigate it perfectly. So right, it's like some people never are able to see that, and it is annoying because you want for people to know that you're a human being. But also on the flip side of that, you have to also be the person that they come to when they need prayer, when they need, when something happens in their family, with somebody that they can talk to for spiritual advice. And a lot of times it's not easy for people to be able to respect you in that way if they feel like a certain way about you. And so I feel like, especially about, when you talk about people in ministry, and I can't say for everyone, but I mean like the way that like our organization is set up, is not necessarily for you to be able to look at someone from a transparent lens, even though people are transparent. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if people be honest, like most people lose confidence in some people I'm talking about like spiritually. And so
you're saying that's by design?
It's a lot of it is about and you're trying to balance things a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like, my old job, the retirement parties are epic. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to come and show support. I'm gonna slide through. Guess what? I'm coming through early, and it's probably gonna be for like 45 minutes at the most. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that you can know that I was there. I showed my support. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm out before the devilment begins. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but because I know what's gonna, like, what it's gonna be. And the reality is, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody will say it until it happens. But if I'm there when the stuff is going on, I can't disassociate myself from what was happening. And now, you know what I'm saying? Like, those same people, like, they don't know, these people they don't go to church. A lot of people don't even know what they believe, but they know that there's something different about you. So now, you know what I mean? Like you're looking differently. It was like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm saying like this, it really just happens. It'd be like, oh yeah, I seen Bayman last night. He was, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even know what I was doing. You just seen Bayman at the party at 11:30, and you know what I'm saying? Like, and you know what I mean? Like, and that's all you. So people, they really take that. And then like maybe later on down the road, they were like, yeah, like you might be talking to them about something, about about the word or whatever. And you know what I'm saying? Now it's like, oh, like I wasn't sure because, you know what I'm saying? Like, or it makes it to them like it's okay to be able to do both things. And that the reality is that's not, that's not true. Like, I shouldn't be doing these things. Whatever you perceived, I'm subject to whatever it is that you know what I mean? Like, and so that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a balance that is not, that everybody does not have down pat. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's something that you kind of take it as it comes. Pause. Like, it, you know what I mean? Like not like you're trying to put, like give off like this perfect vibe, but it's like, I want for when I speak to you, I want for my weakness to, Jesus, I want for when I speak to people for my witness to be effective. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to appear perfect to you, but I do want to be somebody that that you can, that you can come to and be like,
and
bro,
depend on.
I need you to pray. I need you to pray like right now. You know what I'm saying?
Just hearing you guys talk about it makes me feel like Jesus is so amazing, right? And we're not
Right.
God, right? We're not Jesus. But for all the reasons why we protect ourselves, God never did. You know what I'm saying? Jesus
Right.
never did. He never was
Right.
like, "Ooh, I can't be around these whores."
Right.
Right. Because he didn't
Nah,
care, right? But he was
yeah.
willing to take on all that burden, right? All the judgment, all of the ridicule that came with that, with all the people
All the
questioning him. You know what I'm
assumptions,
saying?
all the-
why,
yeah.
why are you here? Why is he with Peter, and why is he with, you know what I'm saying, the tax
Right,
collectors?
right.
He was like, listen, I got work to do, and my convictions, right, or what I'm standing on, because your thoughts and your judgments mean nothing to me. And I'm not saying, listen, we're not Jesus, right? We're not God, but the type of constitution that he must have had to be like, to really not care, to really be in any of those situations and know it's not about anybody else.
Right.
It's truly about me, because I am God. So no matter what they do, no matter what they say, I know no one can make me, you know what I'm saying, come out of my character, no matter where they see me, no matter where they find me, no matter how many times they judge me, no matter how many times they question me, I am God.
Right. So I won't say he doesn't care, but I do agree, because like we talk about, the Bible says, "Don't let your good go evil spoken of." I don't think it's that thought process. It's not being in the wrong place. It's doing the wrong thing.
I was
So
about
it's,
to say,
so
yeah.
like, don't let your good be evil spoken of. It's like, all right, so you was doing good. You was doing really good. So like, say if we talk this instance, right? You're going to the strippy and you're ministering. Like,
That's
this
rough.
This is a sticky situation. It is a very slippery slope.
really crazy.
Yeah, it really
My
is.
bad.
Like drinks be getting spilled. It's crazy. You're right. It's a really.
Jesus, this-
My bad. But just with that, all right, so ready? You're in there. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing because you feel God has called you to do this thing. However, the moment that you slip up, or the moment that you lie and say you didn't do something that you did do, now everything you did prior to that is evil spoken of.
But I
Because
mean,
now I
like-
don't believe you.
Like, see, and in that point, it's about being what you're about.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not about making it look good. It's about really being good.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So when it
Standing on
comes
your
down to it,
convictions, right.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like, so that we could get off of the no shade, but get off the strip club example. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like really like yo, my pops used to like my pops is a person known in a barbershop as being like dude that go to church, but mad cool. And like,
That's dope.
walk in the barbershop, talk to any and everybody. Don't matter what you're doing, what your life's about, whatever the case may be. Like, we talk about the basketball game. Another pastor, actual pastor,
Yep.
walked in. Now, I think that his aim was to be relatable. So he's talking to any and everybody. But then all of a sudden, some 4-letter words come out of his mouth in an attempt to be relatable. Now, I'm not saying that you can or cannot swear. That's not, like, I don't got to heaven or hell to put nobody in. But,
Right.
like, when it comes to the judgment from the people that are, quote-unquote, the secular people that are in that room, like, he looked away. My dad didn't look away.
Right.
But they was just like, yo. It was like, yo, this dude, like, yo,
Hold
he's
your
mad
convictions.
cool.
Right,
Like,
right.
he's mad cool. But it's like, you can show that you're separated and still show that you're relatable simultaneously.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like it like that, like, and I can't
Everybody
say,
has not mastered that. I'm just,
and,
you
no,
know what I'm
and,
saying?
that,
Like,
and,
that's
that-
the-
and that's
the thing,
fine,
yeah.
and that's fine that everybody hasn't. But the thing is like, in my opinion, at what cost are we willing to not speak to people because because the only way you like, yo, I have to present in like the church starter kit and where's my blazer, like, you know what I'm saying, like, where's my necktie, otherwise it's like, yo, can they talk, like, can I talk in my hoodie, like, can they speak,
Yes.
like, yo, like that, like, you know what I mean, like, you're like the God that's in you is not necessarily attached to the material of your outfit. You know what I mean, like, it's in you right now while you have the hoodie on.
Yeah.
You know
And
what's
so-
crazy though?
Go ahead.
My fault. It's like when you saying that, it's always made me think like church people put their own, they made the expectation be a certain way, right? Just
Yes.
based off of their actions. Like a lot of times you can look and be like, oh no, like the world, no, we did it,
Yeah.
Yes.
right?
I appreciate
by
that, yeah.
trying to present the
There are stipulations.
I'm higher. I'm perfect, right?
Yeah.
That's the presentation, right? It wasn't until people got a little older and started to like really speak about things and really be transparent. But now it's hard to get out of that stigmatism, right? So you look at your pops will walk in there, probably talk about the Knicks or something, right?
Right. That's his
Right?
team too.
I know, right? So
Terrible.
he go in there, talk about the Knicks. I'm a Bulls fan. I have no right. Listen, so but he can go in. He can talk about these things. You know what I mean. Even if he was like, you know what I mean, in a suit or whatever, right? They'd still receive it the same, right?
Right.
But that's because, you know, people started to try to move away from that. But there's still those people that look at it like, yo, you're supposed to be in a suit at all times. You gotta have your dress
Like,
socks
yeah, the fact that
on,
my dad
Bible, and all
has-
those other different things. And
Yo,
that's
me and my
something that
pops
we
wear the same
created.
size shoes, bro. Like, my dad has his own Jordan collection just on the strength of me being like, yo, I'm cool on these.
Yeah, but
Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, they be like, yo, man, like, you got these. He be like, yo, my son. I got polo for my son. I got this for my son. He be like, I don't care.
Real quick, I want to say what's up to I think it's Sabrina, you know, equipping the Saints. Yo, and also what
We
up
got
to the
mad
homie?
comments.
I'm about to say to the homie Neek, out in Cali. Much love. But I was gonna say like a really good example to what you guys were saying. What is the way that so new job. Gonna be just chaplain at this prison. One of the first things that they told us was that even though everybody is we are who we are, the chaplains are held to a higher standard, and that's just is from the staff to the inmates, everybody.
Yes.
They're going to be held to a higher standard.
Yes.
And that's regardless of what faith you are. Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, because this is who you are presented as. And so they gave an example. It's like, so if you're working at York, that's the female jail. And they was like, if you're working there and a year, like, a CO slept with one of the inmates, and you hear the chaplain slept with one of the inmates, the chaplain is always going to stand out because they hold us to a higher standard. And then, and so another way, it's like, we're not allowed to evangelize. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like, because we can't, so I can't go to people and be like, hey, have you heard the good news? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so they're saying that you can't evangelize. In my mind, we're evangelizing left-handed because we just can't use our words. In other words, we have to be able to use our lives to be able to be the things that we can't say. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I never been like the guy. So I show up to work, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I had a pair of, I can't remember what I was wearing. It may have been some Kyrie's, Like, I was wearing, and you know what I'm saying? And dudes just talked to me because they seen my shoes.
Relatability.
And they was like, they was like, all right, like this nigga, like, you know what I mean? Like, they like, he, like, what? You know the word too? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
100%.
so it was,
Listen,
yo,
you
but
can't
it was-
have Kyrie's and know the word.
But it was,
I mean, but that was the previous perception, bro.
right. And
That you couldn't have those connecting threads that even made it possible to want to talk to you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta go in those,
the presentation.
like,
so
like
they
you gotta
see-
go in the hard bottoms.
So
off
right, so
top.
it's,
like,
so
just
it's
the,
like, you see, it's like, you know what I'm saying, braids and sneakers. Dudes is like, I'm coming to the service to a jail that I don't even belong to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was actually touring the place, and dude, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm coming. I'm coming to service. One service, like, and so it, you know what I mean? Like, but again, to be able to do something like, I know, like, sustainable. Because even, you know what I'm saying, like, you've accepted this, and now I have to be able to, you know what I'm saying, like, to really live that. And the thing is that it doesn't just happen when I'm in front of you. It happens when I'm not. So that means, like, all of the things that I do that nobody sees when nobody's with me, all of that stuff matters. My point is that, regardless of what people think, because we always think about what people are going to say. Right. And I was saying this to your point of being, not allowing your good to be evil spoken of, right. Is that are your intentions matter, and realizing that the Lord sees everything. And so it should matter even when nobody's around for you. Absolutely. To have to do this stuff. It should make a difference. It should bother you if you know what I'm saying, like if something that you do, like yo, you read the word every day. I'm not saying that you beat yourself up over it, but it should matter to you that you missed that day. You know what I mean, like it should make a difference, yo. This preacher came to our church one time. He said like, yo, he said I had on a whole suit. I ate in the suit, and then I came back to church, but I had got a stain on my shirt. And it said like my tie, you know, if I just let my tie down and close my jacket, you can't even
tell,
like you
but
can't
I
even see
know.
it. He said, but I knew.
Right. Yeah.
And I went home and changed my shirt because I knew that it was there, and that, you know what I'm saying, like, and so having that approach is like, nah, it's not so much that what other people are gonna say, but the fact that I don't want to let the Lord down is a good way to be able to be authentic about it, because it ain't about, you know what I'm saying, like,
right.
yo, it ain't, it's about what I'm trying to make sure is pleasing to him. Go ahead.
I think that's what God is referring to when we talk about Jesus, or we talk about David being a man after God's own heart, because David, up until the point where he sleeps with Bathsheba, is thinking the same way until Nathan comes and says, he gives the parable or the metaphor, and he says, who's the man? He should be stoned, he should be killed, like all these things. He says, you are the man. And he realizes, I have a stain on my shirt. Like, I've been walking around with a stain on my shirt and nobody else sees it except for me and this other person.
Yeah.
However, because I know it's there, let me ask for forgiveness. And I think that's what God is trying to get us to do. And then on the other hand is what Nathaniel does, is to give somebody the grace to ask for forgiveness. Because Nathaniel doesn't come out and just say, yo, you slept with Uriah's wife, you had Uriah killed. He could have just came out and told him flat, like, yo, you're a sinner. Like, but that's not what he does. He comes up and he says, yo, let me talk to you for a second. Let me give you a parable. Let me take you out of the situation just so you can keep your integrity. And then when you ask, I'll tell you. Like, because there's going to be times where people are going through things. And what I've heard the depiction that it's a lot harder to see something if it's in your face. Mm-hmm. But if you take a couple steps back, it's easier to see. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why Nathaniel tells him from a different point of view, so he can see himself unobjectively. Because not everybody's ready to see themselves up in their face.
That part.
Like, I gotta see it from a distance so I can think about it unobjectively and be like, wait a minute, I am tripping. Wait a minute, I did mess up. You know what? I shouldn't have said that. I felt it, but I shouldn't have said it. And then that shows God, like, listen, I want to do right. I want to be right. I don't want to just be right so people know that I'm right. I want to be right so God can have a relationship with me and I don't have to worry about how God feels about me. Oh, I'm about to preach now.
Hit this cash app, ladies and gentlemen.
I felt that. I'm like, oh, let me stop.
It's Expense Monday. Feel free to.
So I'm listening to you guys talk, and I'm trying to remember, and I'm not a seasoned saint. I am not there.
You're seasoned.
But I'm wondering, like, just broaching the topic from the perspective of being so new to something. Like, how are you able to convey your convictions when it's kind of fresh and new to you? And I'm actually gonna.
I have a question.
Yeah.
In regards to your question, to whom?
To whomever, like, so for instance,
I think that's
like,
important though.
I mean,
Cause some people that intimately know you, like, I feel like they're going, like, if you're just like basically like modeling who you currently are or who you're becoming, they're going to see the change in you. Like, you know what I mean? Okay, prime example. When I started going to church, like, you got, like, we'd meet here every week. And, like, you know, the more and more I would naturally just talk about it. Like, you'd be like, yo, okay, I don't know if you know, but, like, I can see that you're changing. Or my mom and them would be like, I can see that you're changing. That's why I said to whom. Because they see the difference in you. Like, you know what I mean? If it's people that are naturally already invested in the former you and the current you, they are going to see the difference.
So I would love to believe that everyone is just on board and supportive of
Oh, I ain't
that.
say they agree.
No, I'm thinking from the perspective of the pushback that people intentionally present to you. Like,
Oh, that comes with it.
like.
So
it's
how do
like-
you navigate it when you're new to it?
Right,
So-
like 'cause when you really don't have those supporting facts, you don't have those supporting scriptures, like, and it's like, oh,
I mean, that's
like
what-
you're kind of like blindsided by it, but you feel how you feel. You know what you know for yourself,
I think that's
and how do you?
that's when I hope that your whatever faith community you're a part of, like you have some people, because it's not that you want to shy away from the people that you have prior relationships with, but if they are not encouraging you, like you hope that there were some relationships that you fostered that you can seek encouragement from. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like you may have like your group of buddies that you always played ball with every Saturday morning or whatever. And now it's like, all right, like if he's always like adamantly against what you're doing, that may not be the place for you. And you have to like be okay with the fact that now you're going to go play at church open gym. Like, you know what I mean? Like if that just like, you know what I mean? To be able to find a balance.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I guess I'll speak from my own personal, like, perspective. Like, like when I started to like newly try to, to change. And my thing is, I've been in church my whole life, right? But I have not. I've been in church, but I wasn't in church. You get what I'm saying?
You wasn't the teacher.
You know what I mean? Like I did the back and forth, get saved when you're younger,
Yeah.
and backslide on Monday morning.
Oh, yeah.
Like I did that a lot of
Perfect
times.
attendance.
We all did it. We all did it. It
You know
ain't
what
just
I mean?
you.
Yeah.
But like when I started to take it seriously, right? Like I said, in my family is me, my mom, and my sister, right? That's it. And like, you know what I mean? And so the way that my family always got together, no matter what it was there was alcohol, there was this, there was that, right? Naturally, they stopped doing things with me, right? It became a very isolating place
good.
because I don't actually reach out to a lot of people at all. I'm like a very like to myself person.
Reclusive, yeah.
And it's like, so, it sucked because I didn't necessarily, like, the things I would do for fun, like, we'd all get up and play board games, but the board games consisted of, you're drinking while you're
like a
playing,
drinking
you're doing
game,
this, you're
right,
doing that.
Drink games.
And now you don't have that anymore, right? But then I didn't have the group of guys here to where I could be like, yo, let's get together and just like play some Monopoly and just cool out. But I'm not drinking no more, so it became very isolating, right? So it also that was a part of the reason why it took me so long to stay on that particular path, right? Because they knew when I would change, right? There was always a way you could tell, like, okay, like, yo, we're getting ready to do such and such. I'm cool. Normally, like
this is your bag.
yeah,
You're
that's
always
my
with
that's
it.
my
Like,
thing.
yeah, right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, nah, I'm cool. Or they get up on Sunday mornings. They all get up and go play ball, right? Well, I can't.
Service. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're like, yo, but you can. And it's like, nah, but like, I'm cool. I gotta go to service. And so you get, I started to get the pushback. What's 1 week? What's this? What's that? It's not gonna matter if you wasn't there. It's not gonna matter. And you start to get that pushback. And then for a long time, like before I started to pray for myself a lot, before I started to like read the word a lot, and before my house started to move that way, right? Because see, my wife didn't grow up in church. I did. So when she bought into it, that's when I had the backing, right? Because I usually look at it like it's gonna be me. That's the person that knows who I am, anyways. So if you get on board with this, and now I'm on board with this, okay. Well, now I'm cool. Like now it's easier for me to say, "Nah, I'm good," and then go do something else.
And to your point, like once you're, being the head of a family, like yo, bro, it's a bigger responsibility. Like you know what I mean? Like it's not just you letting yourself down. Like you know what I mean? Like if your boys is like, yo, come on, just skip a Sunday. Like you know what I mean? Like if it's just you, you're like, you know what?
But
Maybe next week I will. But then now you're like, dang, yo, my little one's looking at me, my lady's looking at me.
right, and that's
like, you know what
that's
I
the
mean?
conviction you feel.
Yeah,
But
100%.
but that's the reason that we go to work. That's the reason
Right.
that we don't do a lot of the things that we don't do is because now we know that we're responsible for these people and
That's
the things
good
that
pressure.
you know what I'm saying, like
Yeah.
and that's but then but it's hard when you don't come from that to be like, how do I cover my family? You know what I'm saying, what are the things that I am now responsible for besides the regular man stuff, right?
Right.
I think that it's a big, it can be a big culture shock when you leave one life to go to the next. But the way to be able to look at it best is the same way, all of the phrasings and the sayings that we all throw out. So when people talk about babes in Christ, like, yo, remember that you have been born again. And just because you're not physically a baby doesn't mean that, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not where you are maybe on, spiritually, like on that level. You're not going to know every scripture. Like, you're not going to, you know what I'm saying? Like, so now is like you're growing up all over again. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't give the same word, like the word to you the same as I might be able to give it to somebody who's been to seminary, because like you're not gonna pick up on it yet like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna know everything. You don't know what the Bible says about all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and so I think it's important for people to be able to group up. Now, I mean, when I say like group up, is like when my siblings were little, like, yo, I was older and I was responsible and was able to do I knew what the things that we should do and the things that we should not do. Until my parents got back home. Ryan's laughing because we actually did a whole bunch of stuff. Like,
That you wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, we put this cat in blankets and threw him in the dryer one time. Like, but like when you're but
don't know
it's
why I
like
kept going
somebody,
over there. I don't-
somebody
Kids
like
need
you're
beans.
somebody like leaving you in charge. So it's like, yo, imagine like you go to your church. If you decide to give your life to the Lord, because we know that it's not just a Sunday thing, it's like, all right, so also we want you to connect with this person, and you know what I'm saying, like, and this will be the, like your person that you go to, and in the event that this person has an issue with whatever's happening, like, you know what I'm saying, like, then y'all like, then you take it to the pastor. So for example, every dude that comes through our church, like, I make sure that I get the information, get the number, whatever. Not for, you know what I'm saying, like, yo, just like, yo, if you wanna pray, if you wanna come to men's group, if you wanna do that. So it's like, yo, so you don't have to feel like, you know what I'm saying, like I don't have nobody to ask no questions. People, you know what I'm saying? Like, people, but my dad will be like, yo, just call me. People I don't want to bother the pastor. Like, you know
A lot
what I'm
of
saying?
times
Like,
they don't take
but
up on that
but it's-
offer.
but it's like, yo, but we should have people, like, I'm talking about trusted people, not,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, to be able to be like, bro, today was tough. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, or like, yo, I'm kind of going through this thing where, like, it just feels like I don't got no friends because all, my crew pretty much abandoned me. All right, you know what I mean? Like we should be able to have that, because you're talking about spiritually, like growing up spiritually. Like, I don't know, everybody's process is different, but it's like until you get to a certain point, like, yo, you're not gonna be able to, like, you may not be able to hold on, like, just by yourself all the time. Until, you know what I'm saying? Like, it really, but you really do have to grow up. We don't look at it that way. It's just like, you know what I mean? You think that you go from just being a babe in Christ to being a seasoned saint also, even though Siobhan says she's not a seasoned saint, but she's seasoned with Curry.
Yo,
It's like, you know what I'm saying? We got the Lawries. I'm about to, it's like how, like you get to that place of being seasoned. You may not even know that like, I'm keeping it being, like, I really didn't realize that I was considered to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, people, everybody come up to the altar, you praying for folks, and you know what I mean? Like, you working the altar. I'm like, yo, I didn't even, I'm like, yo, how did I even get to this point where you feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is something that I should do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't, before the church, I'm like, yo, now I'm obligated to be here. Now, you know what I'm saying? Like, like, I just want to come to church. But it's like, yo, but you don't always realize, you know what I mean? Like, yo, like, nah, nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's time to begin to fly. You know what I mean? Like, so even if I kick you out the nest and gotta swoop down and save you before you hit the ground, we're gonna get this thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's why it's important to, to want to spiritually grow. Like I said, until you get to that place, a lot of people just feel like, I got to be a man on the island, or, a woman on the island, because I don't, you know what I mean? Like, but you're really, it's a setup. because that's what the enemy does. Is, you know what I'm saying? Like divide and conquer. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if you are able to get by if he's able to get you by yourself, it's kind of like, yo, lions. It says he's a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour.
That's what he does.
Bro, they're not. They don't go into groups in herds of animals
No.
that can kill them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna see them unless there's one that's away from the pack.
Exactly.
That's when they come to try to get you. But you know what I'm saying? Like, but when you with the crew, you know what I mean? Like, or so I'm just saying, like, during those, I don't want to feel weak and feel like I gotta thug it out. You know what I'm saying? Should be able to be like, hey, but this wasn't necessarily afforded to us, and this is what I'm saying. Like, I want it for other people, because then maybe it won't take other people as long as it took me to be able to, you know what I'm saying, like, to get it, like, to begin to get it right, because it's like, yo, we was just out here, like, well, I am not talking to my dad about that. Like, everybody else is like, oh, I can talk to Pastor about anything. Nigga, that's you. Like, meanwhile, that's my dad. So
Well, it's
I'm like,
a different
I'm definitely
relationship.
I'm definitely not saying this to him. So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
not necessarily
it's like,
fair.
hey, dad, like, I can't stop calling these
Equipping the
hoes.
saints
Like,
for
like, who wants to do that? Like, no, I'm real talk. Like, yo, hey, man, like, my parents didn't know that I had an alcohol problem until I testified about it. Real talk. And that's something I went through by myself. A lot of things. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's a shame that had to happen, but it doesn't. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and so, I don't know, maybe, like, you might be able to be somebody's go-to. Like, I can talk to Brother KJ. You know what I'm saying, Brother Terrell? Like, you know what I'm saying? I know I can call him for a word and be encouraged. I can call Ryan up and be like, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I mean? Like, it's just it's us putting, putting that, that first wave of pride down to be able to do it, and then on the other side, it's the the organization or the church's job to make sure that there are those people in place to be able to to afford people the opportunity to to grow in grace.
So how do you get to that space though? What if you're like, like Ryan says, even like I think we've all at one point said that we're kind of like extroverted introverts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have the ability to share and talk and be around people, but most of the time,
I don't start that way.
I'm gonna just rock with me because I know I'm not gonna do myself or hurt myself or put myself in a bad situation. But when you're new to Christ and you're trying to figure out where to go, and you're a person who kind of stays within yourself,
That's
how do you reach out? How do you begin to explore, and find those people who are going to be your people? Because even like, I don't just rock with anybody. You know what I'm saying? So I can assume that if I'm like that in the world, that I'm going to be like that in Christ, right?
Absolutely.
I'm not just going to be around every saint or I'm sure there's going to be people that will eventually be my people, but how do I find those people? How do I find the calm within myself to reach out to figure out who those people are? What experiences can I have, or where can I find experiences around safe people where I would even be comfortable enough to do that when I'm new to it?
Yeah, you know what I would say, bro? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Honestly, bro, like, and I'll say this from like being skeptical of people and having a similar experience to like myself in the world, not being quick to warm up to folks. Like, yo, it's a big like that was one of the first things I prayed for. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when it comes to like discernment and things of that nature, and like, like, yo, just like help me see people that like, cause honestly, I'm not gonna trust everybody. Right. And at the end of the day, like, some people may be like, yo, like please help me to see who is well intentioned and who is not. While I'm like, in this vulnerable space where I'm trying to change. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna vibe with everybody because that's just who I am naturally. Like, I'm already like that. Like, I hate most people, if I'm being honest. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that was wild.
like, nah, it was honest. And I was
Hate though?
yes.
Highly
What do you want me? You want me to say? My disdain is higher than normal for most
I
human
appreciate that.
beings.
That's a little bit better.
And human interaction is not my favorite.
I'm cool with all that.
I'm sorry. See how many words that took? That's
It
why I
was.
said one concise thing.
It's an overrated experience.
That's all. And that's all I was getting at. You know what I'm
get
saying?
you,
I don't mean it literally, but
Right.
but you'll get my drift if I say it.
But nah, I agree. So when I've like Ryan, like a couple people here, I've been in church all my life. but I wasn't being a part of the church. I wasn't a participating Christian. I was just somebody who went to church all the time. And when I started to kind of take it seriously, for me, it was more so just like, it was really just me and God. Like, and it's a tough place only because you don't know. You don't know what scriptures you're to read. You don't know what prayers to say. You don't know if you're doing things right. You don't know if you're supposed to talk to this person, you're supposed to talk to that person. Like, you don't know who to trust. You don't know. Like, there's so many things that you don't know.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
I don't want to cut you off. I know Siobhan was waiting, but it's just a question that was on my mind. Do y'all find it easier to, and I know, like me personally, I'm asking this because I just want to answer it, but do you find it easier to be somebody that's grown up in church and then trying to figure these questions out, or somebody that was away for a while and then they're new to everything? Do you think it's an easier transition for them or the person that's been in church for? Because I know how I feel about it.
I feel like we all, bro. I feel like it don't, in a lot of ways it don't matter. You think maybe because you from there that it would be an easier transition, but
I
the
think it's
reality
harder.
is,
I was about to say, I think it's
know,
way
it's harder.
easier to be brand new.
Right.
I think it's harder to be a part of it because I think that you're exposed to all types of politics and nonsense, and you're exposed to all the messiness of the church. Because it's like, I don't have to be saved to know that sister such and such be talking about brother so and so, and that's like, you know, and all this other nonsense that I would never know if I just, like, you know, oh man, like it's been a rough few weeks, and I'm just walking in like, wow, you know, it's tough, and this music is hitting, and won't he do it? Like, yeah, let's go. Like, sign me up, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, meanwhile, I'm over here looking like, yo, she's over here waving her eyes and cutting her eyes at like she's waving her hands and cutting her eyes at such and such. And I'm being, I hate to say it, but like, even though I'm calling people judgmental, like I'm being judgmental myself.
I was getting ready, but I was getting ready to say that.
Like,
Goes
it's
back
a
to the point
big
that I was making, like,
roadblock.
yo, we look at people in the church and be like, yo, I'm mad disappointed in them because it was in church, or it was this person that I associated this thought with. And that's what I'm talking about. It's like, but you really can't help but to do that sometimes.
Well, yeah.
And so for the person who it is like, yo, you might have caught them on a bad day. That doesn't necessarily mean that they don't have no relationship with the Lord. It means you happen to see them on, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this guy said to me, they didn't allow for you to see the unsanctified parts of them.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy though? Is like, not even, I'm sorry, but like, not even just the point you're making, but the point, like, for me, what made it difficult was the fact that my age, right? And I got older and I was like, you know what, man, I should probably be a little more well versed in a lot of these areas than I am. That was the thought process.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yo, you've sat in so much church. That
Extra church.
Yeah,
Your
that you-
attendance is intimidating to the amount of knowledge you lack
don't have.
or
Yeah.
have. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I've definitely felt that way, bro. Like, yo, trust me. I'm like, yo, like my attendance record, like how many Sundays you seen you seen me get a splinter in my behind from the pew? Yeah.
So
Not really up to snuff on my Bible reading level.
Like when I started to get serious about it again, my church was the last place I wanted to be, bro. Like my home church was like, I still haven't been. I've been to like 7 churches. You know what I'm saying? Like, and no disrespect, like my pastor was fire. Like, he was always welcoming. Like, I love him to this day. He married me. You know what I'm saying? Like, super dope person. But like, all the stuff that I saw and I experienced, you know what I'm saying? Like, all the church hurt, like all of that stuff. I didn't want to walk back in that building because it wouldn't have been me walking back in the building. That would have been, you know what I'm saying, Sister Rose's son. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would have been district missionary so-and-so-and-so's
That's a
son.
terrible
You know what I'm saying?
interaction,
Like,
too.
And that's not what I wanted. I wanted to come back and kind of be like,
Your own.
Yo, Saints
this
have a
guy's in the back on that pew and I ain't seen him before, and I'm happy that you're here. I don't know you, but I'm happy. You came back. I'm excited to see you back. I hope you got a good work. You know what I'm
That's a
saying? And like the
fact.
fact that it was just welcoming like that, and it was like, yo, no pressure, no pomp and circumstance, like that was comforting to me. Because I know if I went back to my home church, they'd have been like, where
First
you
thing
been?
is questions.
What you doing? How's your mind? I'm like, yo,
And
I
even-
didn't come here for none of that. No disrespect. I'm just trying to be like, I've been missing something and I want to receive something, and it's not all these questions this that is I'm a about roadblock. to get as soon as I walk through the door.
Even
So
if
that's
it's
why-
rooted in, it could be rooted in care and concern. I'm not even saying it's negative.
yeah.
Like they could be well intentioned. Wow, haven't seen you in a while. You grew a beard. I don't want to talk about that right now.
Yeah.
Stop
I
subconsciously
don't know
telling
where to
me
go.
how long it's been since I've been
I don't
here.
know where to go in this conversation next.
You know what I mean? Like I really don't know, and you're already starting from a place where I'm like I don't like. It's like, yo, good to see you. That'd be enough for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't. Oh man, been asking about you. Stop.
Listen.
I didn't want nobody from the pulpit to be like, "Hey, good to." No, I just want to be that anonymous dude in the
But in
back.
terms of what Ryan was saying, like, when you, if it's harder or whatever to be, like to have been around the whole time, I kind of liken that to like when you, like, we see people all the time that end up together that, you know what I'm saying, like, we're like kind of unlikely. So like, yo, we, you know what I'm saying, I might have grown up with somebody and then it's like, you know what I mean, I didn't look at them like that. And it was never a thing. And then you kind of get grown and then, you know what I'm saying, like, yo, I know Sherry. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been cool forever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she be at the functions sometimes. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've held extra chairs, make it seem like I'm strong in church, I've done all that stuff. But, but we was never vibing. But now this person that you've known 30 plus years, you've known in a certain, like, you've known of them in like a certain way, but now it's like you get together and you start to form a relationship. This person that you've known of for 30 years, you have to begin to find out intimate details about them in the interest of forming a relationship. Yeah. And so I think it's the same, it's the same way. We've been like, we've been to the Lord's house all your life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been here, you know what I mean? Like, I know I've seen people fall out at the altar. I'll lift my hands a couple times, shed a couple tears, but you know what I'm saying? Like, nothing serious. And then when you get serious about it, it's like, oh, now, like, I'm on a different wave. Like, I want to know God better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to know Him more. Like, I know I've been here, but I'm down. Let me do my thing.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And I was gonna say, like, even to that point, I feel like it almost makes it a little bit easier because, like, all, like you were saying, like, just like looking at Sister So and So cut her eyes. I'm like, yeah, I know that was gonna happen. I'm used to that. I'm used to some of the, a little bit of backbiting, a little attitude, whatever, from the usher. Like, I'm used to that. I am not concerned about that. Like, I'm so much more focused and not distracted by those things because I know that those things can happen, I guess. So, like, for me, I feel like having had a little bit of background or growing up in church or, I think I grew up in church. I don't know what to call that. It has helped for me to stay focused at this point.
Yo, did that just? All right, I'll just make sure.
Nah,
All
yeah.
right.
Yeah, I thought so too. It helped for me to be more focused because I'm not distracted. Like, I feel like if I were like super new to the faith and even like the Kojic, well, I am kind of new to whatever, new to the culture, I would be distracted by some of the things. Be like, oh God, she fell out. Oof, Lord. What language are they talking over there? Oh my God. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I were so new, I think I'd be distracted by that and like probably a little bit intimidated. So I kind of like that I've had some experiences, and that's helped me to be focused. But I also want to go back to the what KJ and AJ were talking about, like praying. Definitely, like, that was a situation I was in when I decided, like, I wanted to go back to church, and I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do. I knew I wanted to have my own relationship with God for myself, and I also wanted to be able to decide on a church and, a community for myself. I didn't want the influence of anybody, and I remember really like honing in and being like, oh Lord, I'm church hopping right now. I don't know what I'm doing, but I know that I want more of you. I know that I want that relationship with you, and I want to go somewhere where I'm going to be led and like actually taught how to do this thing. And after all the hopping I was doing and trying to get away, I just ended up going back to where it felt right. And I can tell you that I had a conviction that I couldn't really explain. Still can't really explain it, but it just felt right, and I just knew. And again, things have just exploded since I was like, all right, I'm giving into whatever this feeling is, whatever you're telling me right now, I'm giving into it, and my life has literally changed since just like saying, all right, this is what you're saying, all right, I'm in. So.
I agree with equipping the Saints 413 as well. He said I think they both have their own struggles when it comes to basically leaving the church and then coming back, as opposed to somebody that's never been there. As there's definitely going to be different struggles. The same thing that Siobhan's talking about can be applied to somebody who's never been to church before. So somebody who's never been to church before doesn't know that sister so-and-so likes to gossip.
Right.
Somebody who's never been to church doesn't know that brother so-and-so has a thing with whatever, or whatever the case is. Like, it could be, like, there's a bunch of little nuances. It's actually one of the things, reason why I don't like change. Or I try to avoid some type of change. I'm very flexible, but I also understand that the devil is easier for me to maneuver. Because I'm like, all right, I know what you do. A new space puts me in a place where I have to relearn this information. And some information is easy because it's rinse and repeat, but other information, you got to do some digging. Especially like, all right, not knowing who to trust. Not if you don't know that you can't, like, because not everybody the Bible says not everybody who says Lord, Lord will make it into heaven. Meaning some people that go to church aren't going to do what God is asking them to do. And that's just the plain fact about it. And this is why when I was first getting back, I had to do a lot of things for myself because I had to have a relationship with God.
Yeah.
The relationship has to start with me. Everybody else is supposed to build on the relationship that I currently have. Because I have to build the relationship. You can talk to me about Jesus all day long, but until I accept him as my savior, you're not really adding blocks to the pyramid, essentially. Like, I have to choose this. So I had to pray. I had to read the Bible. If you don't know, that's my thing. Reading the Bible was the easy part for me. There's definitely some parts that are hard to read, but I understood that knowing God was half the battle. Knowing his characteristics, and the way to know it is to read the Bible. Like, it's written. So, like, understanding who he was, understanding what he cares about, what he puts stock in. Like, one of my favorite things that I learned about the Bible is that God uses the underdog 9 times out of 10. Like, he uses the person that you feel like can't do it. That person can't do it. That's the one I want. Pick Muggsy Bogues. First pick. Give me that one. like we laughing because
was available.
but that's you see what I'm saying? Like, knowing who he is, you're like, yeah, that's a dope pick. But if you don't, you're like, yo, dude's mad small. Why would you pick him?
Also, just
Why?
just for everybody, like, I'm definitely not picking Muggsy first. But, I feel you. No, but I just wanted to also just and just invite people into the just to sort of come into the knowing that we look at when you if you're not going to church, if you're not living that life, and you decide that that's what you want to do, you have to remember that everybody that is in church is there for a reason. If they did
Absolutely.
not need to be there, then they wouldn't be there. And so when you're looking at the people and like because you're comparing your life to the lives of the people, and you feel like, oh, if this person is doing the same thing as me, it's like, no, but we're all people. So it's very, so it's very possible that you can, that this person could have been here 10 years and they have the same issue as you. That, like, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't continue to search for the Lord. That means that you should continue, and that you should also know that, like, it's not necessarily, God is not comparing our righteousness one to another. He's not looking, he's not laying like, yo, AJ more saved than him, so I ain't, like, I ain't messing with him because he's not saved as AJ is. That's not how God does. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to, like, you're going to church for you. You're going because you want to know the Lord. And so instead of taking the attitude, well, I'm not, like I'm gonna be out because I don't, because like these people is doing it. Like, yo, you can actually decide to be the person who lives with more integrity than those people that have been there for that long. But I guarantee you, is what I'm saying, it'll yield you a different result than what you see. You know what I'm saying? Like, so not saying, like my dad talks about all the time, like how like he saw his dad do things, and in that situation, it would be, what I mean, like a lot of people in that situation would wind up doing the same thing as the thing that they saw when they grow up. But
So I should disappear.
Right. I mean, like, we listen, this dude, that was a top tier dad. Yeah,
Go ahead.
appreciate that. I'm not gonna kick us back into that. Hey, like I'm not doing it. No, but
no,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
my
but
fault,
instead of being,
Sorry, yes.
instead of being that guy, you know what I mean? Like instead of being like, my dad, so my dad did this, so like I'm gonna do this. Like, nah, I saw him do something terrible, and because of that, I'm never going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so just in the same way, like I seen these people, like I don't want to be a hypocrite. I don't want to be somebody that's saying that they're doing one thing and actually doing something else.
Right.
So, you can choose to be different and not necessarily just measure yourself by who you think the people around you are.
Another thing is they say comparison is a thief of joy, but I wanted to talk towards ageism. I think ageism is a big thing in the church that goes unspoken. Just because you are younger or just because you are older does not mean that you are supposed to be in a certain place in your life. Somebody who is younger than you can pour into your spirit because God has taken them through something that you haven't yet to experience. And it could be the opposite as well. Somebody who is older, which is what the Bible lines up with the Bible essentially, because the Bible says, look towards the young for strength, look towards the old for wisdom. But there are times, there are circumstances where things flip. If you look at the Bible, when Jesus was not preaching, but he was teaching in the synagogue as a child. I think he was 14, and he was teaching them. So it doesn't necessarily mean we have to get past this ageist thing. We have to get past this sexist thing. We have to get past these little nuances that we put in front of what God is trying to do.
I mean, but it just sounds like you're saying that, honestly, believers need to remove the facades.
Absolutely.
I mean, because if your focus was actually on the content and not where it's coming from, like, you'd be okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if a child said it, if an adult said it, if a person wearing this said it, if a woman said it. You know what I mean? Like, all of these things are just facades. Like, you know what I mean? So if we're focusing on the actual content and actually believing, especially if you, like, are confident in who you're speaking to, then you're like, yo, like, you're not speaking to them. Like, God is speaking through them. You know what I mean? So who are you listening to? Or are you allowing these barriers to be in your way?
That's a great question.
To another I heard somebody say something that was dope that I'm taking with me. I was like, but this I was doing this meditation, and this and so it's like, guided. This lady was like, you got to remember that, and specifically to like, right, because we're talking about newer Christians, like you get in those situations where you feel outnumbered. You feel like you're by yourself. So, like, you have to remember that the world, the enemy is going to do things, and they're not going to play fair. They're going to gang up on you. You're going to feel like you're by yourself, but you have to remember that as long as you have God, that you are the majority.
Ooh, that's good.
That's it.
And so, I'm taking that with me everywhere I go.
That is
like, you know what I'm saying? So,
Message.
right.
just in that, we have to remember, like, some people need motivation or a reason to begin their faith walk. And I think that just by some of the things that you all have said, that, like, we have said enough for somebody to begin that. So definitely appreciate everybody's perspective. It's been really good. I feel. Go ahead.
Let me get one last thing. Because we talked about the solace and the loneliness, and we talked about not necessarily loneliness, but we talked about walking the journey yourself. But I do want to give encouragement that there is a end to that walk. God will add people to encourage you. God will add people to keep you accountable. God will add people that are going to pour into you when you need to be poured into. We just have to be mindful of to watch. The Bible says to watch and pray. So we have to continue to pray, but also watch, look out. God is going to send you somebody that's going to help you, because at some point we're going to need help, and God's going to deliver that help. So
I think specificity is important though in your prayer too. I mean,
Absolutely.
If you just like, I don't know, like maybe I'm way too practical, but like I just look at it like, yo, there's a lot of us out here.
yeah,
Like, so you might just want to say what you want. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like,
There's
like,
something to be said
like,
about directional, intentional prayer.
like, yo, I just feel like, yo, there's billions of humans, and and you know what I mean? Like, they said the rocks can cry out, so God forbid they're in that, you know what I mean? Like, they're actually praying too, so therefore it's a lot going on that line. Like, Jesus is on the main line, but it's busy. Like, you niggas gotta
Tell 'em what you
relax.
want.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
But
you know what I'm saying? So when it comes, but you know when it comes down to it, I say all that to say this. Like, I mean, like, you know, what, to your point, like, pray for the patience.
right,
Pray for the patience to get to the people
right,
that are gonna encourage you.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like when you're praying for the discernment, that's cool, but pray for the patience in the meantime. Pray to be able to get help while trying to wait.
right.
You know what I mean? Like, people should be, like you said, be intentional with your prayers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I always talk about, like, you know, they say faith without works is dead. So I always be like, yo, like, the work that I have to do is to be able to establish the tools to be able to hold it down until he can do what I'm asking.
And the packaging too, because sometimes
Pause.
help doesn't.
My bad.
It's okay.
The game is the game. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, yeah. I don't want to say this right.
The presentation.
Yeah. It might not. He might not send what you need in the way you think you're gonna get it, or in the pack. You know.
That's good.
That's true.
definitely
Yeah, for sure. Pardon me for being immature. 'Cause
Nah,
what
it's
you
cool,
said was
it's
100%
cool.
right.
I wanted
Like, you know what I mean? It may not present itself in the form that you
Does
think.
not compute jokes.
Dang, that's hate.
Go ahead, Joe.
It's about to be
System
on that
failure.
System failure.
Nah, but not for real. You know, just even like I think you had said something about like just praying for friendships, or like, you know, because like friends fall off and all these things happen. It's like he's like AJ was saying, he's definitely gonna send you help, and just be mindful of it not coming necessarily how you.
See, you did it to yourself.
That was you.
I know, but
Everybody was mature.
Right after she said it, she was like, "Oh,
You gotta grow up.
one day. But yeah, but you know, Jesus loves you. So
Just getting out of there.
that's all I got.
No, it says now, you know, now unto him that is able to keep you from falling, he can do that, and to present you faultless before the presence of his glory. That means, and it with exceeding joy. That means, you know, we want to just be able to do the things that will make Jesus proud to present us before his Father, knowing that
Absolutely.
we did the work that he asked us to do. Praise God.
Yeah.
Church announcements. Church announcements. Anybody got stuff going on?
oh, don't we have a district meeting coming up?"
We have,
Next.
Did they pay for that advertisement?
So
so,
that's crazy.
I respect it.
is
Little
there
dub.
like a concert or something on
Yeah,
Saturday?
Saturday.
It's the pre-musical.
Pre-musical, yeah.
No, the pre-musical theme is Choir Mania, but I'll definitely be adding, just a couple of songs that night.
It's about choirs, but we're doing the solo.
It'll be, you know what I'm saying, well, to break up the monotony,
We'll make a chorus with just him on it.
like they said, so I'm gonna be there. We also got our SpreadTheWord.store, SpreadTheGoodWord.com.
You know it.
Because if you watch the episode, you've heard Andrew talk extensively about his love of the Word of God. And now, because of his love, you can wear it on your shirts, on your tees and your hoodies. So we would, y'all are wild, yo. So, SpreadTheWord.store, SpreadTheGoodWord.com. You can tell it's getting late, so we're gonna sign off. So we'll see you guys next time, next Monday.
I just wanted to say.
Go ahead.
And this was
Church
like,
is never gonna end, yo. Like, this is like
I
an
know.
hour far spent.
I have been
It's
wanting
like,
to say
yo.
this, and it's not even gonna come out how it's supposed to.
The long-winded
because-
evangelist. So you got it.
Nah. I'll just say, I just wanted to speak to how intentional God is, because even today's topic, he led me to this topic, and I'm hoping and praying that somebody gains something out of this, because I know that, in prayer this morning, the topic was very specific to this group of people. So I'm just hoping that it was something for somebody out there too. So I'm just always in awe of God. So I just wanted to share that because he's dope.
Amen.
Coming from a
And
robot.
all hearts and minds are clear. May the Lord watch. Until the next time, or may our audience watch. Next week at 8:30, we will be here once again, talking about stuff that hopefully you would like to talk about with us, or you could just listen, hang back, shoot out some comments if you want to.
Shout out to Anna Serve, Neek, Equipping the Saints 413, Amber Haywood. Yeah, mad comments to that. I apologize. We didn't read too many. Conversation was good, but we will address them at a later date. Because there's some good stuff in there. I saw it.
All right. And if you like, share, and subscribe,
Yeah.
you can just go back to these comments and read them yourself too.
Just want y'all to encourage, because since y'all commented, you can share it on your page,
Yeah.
so that other people can see what you said and also see, your knowledge. Maybe they don't know any of us, but they know you, and now they know your affiliations with Jesus. So we'll be back next week at 8:30. And, until next time, as always, just allow Jesus to be the lotion that lathers your ashy soul.